Hey, it's Brian at Legit Betting Edge. In today's video, we're going to talk about Suns Clippers Game 6 in LA tonight. Suns are up 3-2, but before I go into that, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you don't mind. When you do those two things, you help me facilitate the videos, which means more people see an opportunity to watch them. You help my channel grow, and I certainly appreciate that. Thank you. All right, let's move forward here. Game 6, Suns Clippers, Suns in LA, as I mentioned. And what I want to do here is I want to go through an emotional timeline. I don't want to go through any numbers. We're not talking about mathematics here. Let's just talk about who has the emotional edge in tonight's game. It's a Suns are 1 point favorite in LA tonight. And what I want to do is I just want to let's review and talk about a story that was building, the story of emotion, who has the emotional edge, who might win tonight, and how that goes. To do that, we have to go all the way back to game number 1. Now, game number 1, Booker goes off. Chris Paul is out because of COVID protocols, right? So he's out for the first 2 games. Booker has a huge game in game 1. They beat the Clippers by 6 points, and they go into game 2 now, riding high. The Clippers come out with a lot of energy, a ton of energy. Booker breaks his nose in that game, runs into Pat Beverly, isn't the same. The Suns are a little lethargic. But what they do is they hold on late with an Ayton, with a pass to Ayton with 0.8 left on the clock, toss it in, dunk, game over, Suns up 2-0, right? So what that did though, is that took a lot of energy from the Suns to get up and finish that game, and they're feeling really good about themselves. And what happens then, emotionally, you have a letdown, right? You just have it's a natural thing to have a letdown, especially when you're up 2-0, you're feeling great about yourself, and you're going on the road, and now you're getting your star point guard back. Chris Paul comes back for game 3. But here's what happens. In game 3, the Suns, they use so much energy, so much emotion in the first 2 games. They're not sharp in game 3. Booker isn't his same self. And Chris Paul is there. And what they do is they kind of release the burden on Chris Paul, right? They don't all play together like they normally do. And the Clippers play a hell of a game, right? And they take that game. So now they're back in the series. It's 2-1 Suns, game 4 in LA. That game, look, tight game. Very tight game. Clippers wanted that game. Suns are moving back to normal energy in game 4, right? So they're back. They're playing together. Chris Paul plays a good game. Booker plays a good game. The Suns play a complete game. They have to have a big third quarter, but they do. And then they hold on from a surge late. Paul George misses a couple of free throws. Who knows what happened if he doesn't miss them? Suns pull out the victory. 84-80, I believe it was. They win by 4 points. So now they're up 3-1. Everybody predicts the Suns to close them out. But what they don't realize, these sports bettors don't realize, as the Suns were they were a 5-point favorite, a 4.5 point favorite, 5 point, 5.5, whatever book you're at, it's right around that is where it was. What the bettors don't realize is the Suns had to lay out a ton of energy in game 4 to go up 3-1. The Clippers were not done, right? The Clippers in game 5 came out storming. They had a surge of energy. They played big in the first quarter. They played big in the third quarter. They hold on and they win, running away from the Suns in game 5. Now it's 3-2. But what happened in game 5? And this is the key, right? So it's all been leading up each game, the emotion, up and down, up and down, up and down. Here's the key though in game 5, to my eyes. The Suns, even though they lost that game by double digits, they didn't have a lot of ups and downs in that game. They played even keel. They didn't play with urgency, but they didn't, they weren't frantic. They weren't up and down. They didn't exert a ton of energy and then come out flat in another quarter. They played pretty consistent throughout all quarters, even though they lost by double digits. The Clippers, on the other hand, they came out with a huge burst in the first quarter. The second quarter, they ran out of steam a little bit, right? Third quarter, obviously, come out of halftime. Another burst, everything they got, and they take a huge lead, and then they coasted into the fourth quarter, and they hang on, right? But here's the deal. The Clippers had to exert a ton of energy to stay and get it and run away in that game, and they felt like they had to score massive points. They had to come in. They felt like because of the other games were close, they didn't want it to come down to a free throw. They had to keep their foot on the gas, and you know what happens when you do that? You use a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and so it is my prediction tonight. The Suns will travel to LA for Game 6 as the Clippers try to tie the series 3-3. I think it'll be close throughout. I think the Clippers will get energy from their home crowd, but I just think the Suns have a little more in the tank than the Clippers. And I think that the execution from the Suns, the calm from the Suns, and I think the cushion of the lead that they have is going to give them a calmness. It's going to allow them to play in flow, where the Clippers now, they'll be frantic again. How many games can you be frantic and hold on? It is my opinion tonight that the Clippers will go down. The Suns will close them out 4-2 because they're just out of gas. And I think the story has been told throughout the series. That's my thought on tonight. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate you watching. Good luck on whatever play you decide to play tonight, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, whether it's a total or a side. Good luck to you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.